ഹായ് ഗുഡ് ആഫ്റ്റർനൂൺ എവറിബഡി. വീണ്ടും ചെംസ് കിച്ചണിലേക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. ഇന്ന് ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളുടെ മുമ്പിൽ കൊണ്ടുവരുന്ന ഡിഷ് ഇസ് വെരി ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് റെസിപ്പിയാണ് ഞാൻ ബ്രിങ്ങിങ് ഇൻ ഫ്രണ്ട് ഓഫ് യു. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് വെരി സിമ്പിൾ ബട്ട് ഇറ്റ്സ് എ വെരി യൂണിക് ഡിഷ്. ഇറ്റ് ഡസൻ ബിലോങ്സ് ടു ഇന്ത്യ. ഇറ്റ്സ് എ ഡിഷ് ഫ്രം പാകിസ്ഥാൻ, our neighboring country, and the name of the dish is Cherchi chicken Karahi. In this, the main thing is that it doesn't contain onion, it doesn't contain coriander powder, it doesn't contain chilli powder, and not turmeric powder. So without this, we make this, but only thing is you need a little bit more oil into it. It's a little bit oily chicken curry, and more of tomato will be coming into it. So I want to everybody to try this recipe, and it's very unique one. When the onion rates are really booming up once in a while, you can always try this recipe, and all you need is chili, pepper, and tomato is the main, and ginger and garlic. So try this out and enjoy it. Do recommend your comments on my channel so that I can also make some changes and amendments to it. So until then, take care and enjoy the recipe. Hi, good afternoon everybody. Today the dish which I am bringing to you is Cherchi chicken Karahi, and this dish is from Pakistan's Peshwari area, and this is one of the very famous street dish of Pakistan. So I'll just explain to you what are the ingredients which is being used into it. The first thing is that we use oil, the normal cooking oil, and in this we use a lot of oil has to be used to it. So we have the oil we use into it, and then we have salt. Then here today for the cooking which I have made is 700 grams of chicken. It's cut into curry cut has been made, and 700 grams of fresh chicken is there. Then we need is green chilies. You have to slit the green chili. You take around 5 to 6 chilies and split it into 2 or 3 tabs. Then we need is 5 tomatoes. Cut it into half. So you just have to cut the top of the tomato and then just cut it into half. Don't peel the skin. Then we need is garden fresh pepper. Then we need is ginger, garlic. Normally we don't need garam masala, but to have our taste, we can add a little bit of garam masala. And now I will show you how the ginger garlic has to be prepared. So you take a bowl and put the ginger into it, and the crushed garlic, and then mix a glass of water into it. And this is where the actual flavor of the chicken is coming from, this water which is a mix of the ginger and the garlic. And this water you have to keep it for around 15 minutes before you're pouring into the chicken, so the all aroma of the garlic and the ginger will come into the water, and this is the water which we will be pouring onto it. And now I am going to show you the actual preparation, and it has to be made in a kadai. And now place a very thick kadai into it, and let the kadai be really hot before you add the oil into it. And now the kadai is really hot, and now to the kadai you just have to pour the oil, the normal cooking oil. If you feel that the oil is not sufficient, you just add a little bit more of oil into it, because basically you are cooking the chicken into the oil, so that is why you need more quantity of oil. And if there will be an excess oil, which we will be draining it out. And once this oil is really hot, into the oil you have to add the salt. So right now I am putting is half teaspoon of salt into the hot oil, and this is where it happens. And then you have to really give a good stir to the salt, so that the salt mix completely to the oil. And now you put the fresh cut chicken into it. And then stir it nicely, and the flame is still high. So that basically you're cooking the chicken completely to the salt which you have added into the oil and the chicken, so that and you have to cook it properly. So this is where the 80% of the cooking of the chicken happens, and the rest 20% only happens at the end stage. And make sure you stir the chicken quite often, so that every chicken it has been turned left and right, so that it cooks properly. This cooking has to go around almost to 10 minutes. So you have to frequently stir it, so that it comes to the aroma. And you should always make sure the kadai is a very thick kadai, because it's a high heat cooking. And when the chicken turns white, and that is where you know that the chicken is been completely cooked. So after that only we will be adding the next ingredient as the tomato. So we have to allow the chicken to become white. That shows it becomes completely cooked. So now you can see the chicken has become a little bit of whitish color, and this is the time where you have to put the split chilies and then stir it nicely. And this is basically a dish where we are not using any chili powder, turmeric powder, coriander powders or anything like that. This is totally, entirely a different dish. It doesn't contain all these spices. So its basic spice is basically the chili, and the pepper is the only spice which we are using into this. The other spices are never used into this dish. So now what you have to do is, put the chili, stir it properly, and then we have to add the cut tomatoes into this. So these tomatoes are with the skin. So I'll be showing you at what stage we will be removing the skins from it. We should not remove the skin in advance. So we are putting it with the skin into the chicken. And stir it properly. And this is all been done in high flame only. We are doing it in high flame. And I am using is a broiler chicken. So now we have to wait for some time till the tomatoes are getting cooked. Cover it with a lid and leave it for 5 minutes, so that what will happen, the tomatoes get completely cooked. Then only we can peel the skin out. So now I am removing the lid, and now as you can see, the tomatoes are completely cooked nicely. And this stage, bring the flame to sim, and with a tong you have to remove the skin from the tomatoes. So this is very simple. You just have to it just comes out. This shows that the tomatoes have been completely cooked properly. Because this skin, it will not get dissolved into the oil or anything, so it will be just staying there like the skin itself. So you have to make sure the number of tomatoes which you have put, the same quantity of skin has to be removed completely. So you should always remember one thing, that Pakistani food, it contains a lot of oil into it. So you should make sure that, in case if the oil is really too much, you can drain the oil out completely also. Not completely, a little bit of oil you can just see. Now I have removed the entire skin of the tomato completely, and now you have to smash the tomatoes into it. Now as the skins have been removed, the tomato will get smashed completely very easy. So stir it properly. And now next what we have to add smash the tomatoes nicely. And at this stage is where you have to add is the water, the ginger garlic which is mixed with the water. So it gives a very good aroma, and this is the real aroma of the dish. And the flame is high and stir it nicely. And now we will allow it to cook completely, and this is the last stage of the cooking. So now let it boil. So we'll just again close it and leave it. At this stage you just taste whether the salt is correct or not. So we are adding a little bit more salt. It was not sufficient. And now you can see the gravy itself is getting thicker. All these tomatoes will be smashed completely. Now you are getting a real thick gravy. And now the salt is good. And now again close it and let it allow to cook. So now we are let it to cook nicely. And like if there is more of water, just leave it open and in high flame, just cook it for 5 minutes. The water evaporates completely. And now as you can see, the gravy itself has become thick. The tomatoes are completely smashed. And in case if you see any pieces of tomato, just smash it nicely and it's completed. And now what you have to do is the 1 tablespoon of fresh ground pepper to be added into it. This is where you get the spice into it. Mix it nicely. And now, see, as you have put the pepper, you can see the water has been settled completely, and you can see it's the oil which is coming on top. So I just slow the flame to show you that now you can see it's all the excess oil which is on top, which you can drain it out later on. And to this, what we do is now we put half teaspoon of garam masala. Basically in this, the original recipe, the garam masala is not added, but for us, for the Indian flavor, we need a garam masala flavor to it. So that is why I am adding a little bit of garam masala into it. And then stir it nicely. And now you can see the gravy is really thick. And if you see the excess oil is there, you can always drain the excess oil completely. It depends upon some people, don't use much of oil. But Pakistanis, they use a lot of oil into it. So, and now as you can see, the Cherchi chicken Karahi is now ready to serve. So after putting the pepper and the garam masala, let it be, cook it for 2 minutes. And later on, in the last stage, what you have to do is, you have to cut some ginger into julienne cuttings. It is just like a flavor which has to come out of it. And switch off it and then place it on top of it. Don't drain the oil right now. Let it cool down a little bit and then drain it. And you can just place chilli slit on top of it and close it and keep it for 5 minutes so that the aroma completely enters into the chicken. And at that, after opening, if you see the excess oil, just drain the excess oil a little bit. So our Cherchi chicken Karahi is ready to be served. Thank you very much for enjoying my show, and I'll be coming up with new dishes soon. Until then, take care and have a nice day. Stay safe, stay home. Thank you.